Alrighty, you've got three examples of women as nurses on your outline. You have, looking at this here, you got Louisa May Alcott, you have Susie King Taylor, and Phoebe Yates Pember. And I picked each of those three women because they represent like a specific part of nursing. So, first, nursing in the North is organized in large part by Dorothea Dix. She might sound familiar to you. She's the woman from the last lecture who is involved in mental asylum reform. And so the government in the North, they hire Dorothea Dix to be in charge of women as nurses. Now, initially, right, we noted that it's thought that it would be proper for women to be nurses, but then, they changed that idea really quick when they realized it might benefit them. So Dorothea Dix creates some standards. You have to be over the age of 30. Women who serve as nurses have to be plain in appearance. Those are her words. They cannot wear curls in their hair, jewelry, bows. Their dresses are to be brown or black, and they cannot wear hoops. And the idea is, of course, these would be women that nobody would want because they're old, over the age of 30, and we didn't want we don't want them off trying to get husbands because anybody's going to look for a husband apparently, in a medical hospital. But yeah, this is the idea. So this is why they have to be plain in appearance because nobody would want to marry them. So Louisa May Alcott is one of these women, and you've got her document on your outline. She just meets the age requirement. She says she's 30 years of age, so she just met that age requirement. Look at how she writes about this. She sees this as she's the son going off to war. She says she's excited about new experiences. She's I gotta get my pin-up energy out. She's glad she doesn't need nice clothes, right? That reference to being plain and not having fancy stuff. She says goodbye to her family and says maybe we'll never see them again. Again, seeing herself as the son going off to war. And then when she gets there, reflecting that idea, right, that this is a good job for women because they're wives and mothers. She says, I felt real motherly. Now, you might remember Louisa May Alcott. You saw her before, too. She was one of those sentimental novelists. She wrote Little Women. She actually gets sick serving in these field hospitals, and the medicine that they use to help heal her is mercury. So she will suffer from the effects of mercury poisoning for the rest of her life. She'll lose her hair, her teeth, and then for the rest of her life she'll mention, she writes about having, she calls them manic episodes, and it's clearly the effects of mercury poisoning. Now, Susie King Taylor, she was a black woman who served as a nurse in the Civil War, and you've got her account also on your outline. There's a picture of her, too, in Through Women's Eyes, so you can see her. Oh, and I've got a picture on the PowerPoint. Look at all the stuff she does, though, right? She's bringing the wounded into the camp. She's cleaning the guns. She's doing the laundry. She's making them food. She's, helping them in, when they're brought in, helping with their wounds and stuff. She's doing all this stuff. Meanwhile, Louisa May Alcott, not to diminish her service, but she's just sitting by bedsides making people feel better. And Susie King Taylor gets paid $2 less than Louisa May Alcott. Black troops are segregated at this time. They'll be that way until the Korean War in 1950. And so, because Susie King Taylor is black, she serves separately from white nurses. And white nurses were already paid a third of what men were paid when they were nurses. And now Susie King Taylor is getting paid $2 less. And look at all the stuff she's doing there. So it's pretty annoying. The third woman that you have as a nurse is Phoebe Yates Pember. What I love about her little excerpt there, she's in the South. So women nurses in the South would have had a lot to contend with because there's a blockade. And so they don't have a lot of resources. And so she recalls here in her account that the whiskey was kind of, she noticed, what did she say, great evils were existing with the whiskey. There's not really any kind of anesthesia at this time. So if a man had to get his arm amputated or his leg cut off, they just gave him a shot of whiskey and they literally like sawed it off. So, but she noticed the whiskey's missing. So, um, there's legislation passed in the Confederate Congress to give the key, the control of the whiskey to women. I guess the thought is that they aren't going to drink it. And so she has great pride in this, right? She says she goes and she has the printed law as her reference, and she goes and gets the key, and all the liquor was locked up in my own pantry, and the key in my own pocket. And she's very excited about how it's hers, my pocket, my key. She's very much in charge of this, and she speaks about that with pride. So a reflection of again, that experience and just kind of how women might have found some possibilities in this role as a nurse. All right, if you have any questions, you can leave those in the discussion module. Take care.